Hi guys, welcome to my picks video for UFC Fight Night, Sean Brady versus Gilbert Burns. I'm going to try and do these quick. Starting off the card, it is OSP versus Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann is on a 3-fight losing streak against decent guys, Bogdan Guskov, Anthony Smith, and Nikita Krylov. Slight robbery against Anthony Smith, but I do think Ryan Spann could have done a bit more to put a stamp on that win if he did get it. He had Anthony Smith hurt quite a few times during the fight, and he did not take full advantage of it. Those IQ moments worry me coming into this fight. I think OSP, though, is well past his prime, so it might not matter. He's 41 years old. He's had plenty of wars. A lot of great fights inside the UFC. But I think just that age, he's getting up there. And Ryan Spann does have some good hands and good jiu-jitsu. But I'm actually going to predict Ryan Spann to win this fight by knockout. I think OSP's chin is not all there anymore. But I wouldn't be surprised either, OSP getting another decision win like last time, but we'll have to see. But the pick is Ryan Spann. Next up is Rongo versus Chris Padilla. Chris Padilla came into the UFC on 3 days' notice and beat James Lontop. I was very impressed by that win, considering 3 days' notice. That's like Marcus McGee when he just randomly came in and beat Journey Newsom. But anyway, Chris Padilla seemed to be losing that fight against James Lontop a little bit, even though it was only one round. I think James Lontop did better in the striking, and he just got caught by Chris Padilla. And Rongo, this is his second stint in the UFC, coming off road to the UFC right now. He looked great in his last few fights on it. Let's see how Chris Padilla does on a full camp coming into this fight, because I think I'm going to go with the underdog in Taco again. I'm just going to ride that train a bit, but I think Rongo will probably be the favorite, but I'm going to be the wild card and pick Chris Padilla. Next up is Gabriel Santos versus Yiza. Gabriel Santos had a close fight with Lerone Murphy and got knocked out by David Onama. I picked David Onama to win that fight because ever since Nate Landwehr and David Onama fight, one of my favorite fights of all time, I never pick against those guys. So if I ever do a breakdown with them two, there may be some bias, but for the most part, it's been going well for me picking those guys. Yiza is also coming off road to the UFC like Rongo. He's looked pretty good in it. Losing to Zhang Young Lee is not too impressive to me right now. Hyder Emil knocked out Zhang Young Lee. But we'll have to see with Hyder Emil. But I was not too impressed with Hyder Emil. Anyway, that's digging kind of deep. I'm gonna take Gabriel Santos to win this fight. But if he looks like how he looked like David Onama in the second round, just getting pieced up, we'll have to see. It could go either way, but I'm gonna be taking Gabriel Santos. He's quite fast and he's got a little bit of dog in him, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, next up is Andre Petroski versus Dylan Budka. Dylan Budka had a really bad performance on the Contender Series. He definitely wanted to fight more than the other guy who just kind of held him the whole time. I was really surprised Dylan Budka even got a contract in the UFC after that when Josephine Knudsen didn't even, and I thought she had a much better performance. He's taking off on Andre Petroski. Andre Petroski is coming off a win over Josh Fremd. That was only about a month ago. His chin is a little suspect, but that might not matter against Dylan Budka, who only has one knockout ever. I first round against a 2-10 opponent. That's not very impressive. I haven't seen that fight, but 2-10 opponent. It's not too serious. I'm going to be taking Andre Petroski. I just think he's a higher level than Dylan Budka. There's levels to this, and I don't think Dylan Budka should necessarily be in the UFC. They should have at least set up the SD Dumas fight for him, since they were talking a bunch of shit on Twitter. So anyway, it's going to be Andre Petroski for the win. Next up is Isaac Dgien versus Brandon Moro, or Murat. Brendan Murat was brought in to lose to Terrence McKinney to make him look good again, because we all know Terrence McKinney destroys cans, and then Terrence McKinney gets a higher level opponent and fights them like they're a can, and then he gets finished most of the time. I like Terrence McKinney, but that seems to be a kind of a trend. He said he's going to work more on just his grappling and jiu-jitsu for his next few fights. Let's see how that goes. But anyway, back to this fight. I think the same thing is going to happen. I think Isaac Dgien, he's got that dog in him, the Midwest Choppa. I'm going to take him to win by first round knockout again, and probably Brendan Murat's going to be cut by the UFC. Next up is Jacqueline Amorim versus Vanessa Demopoulos. How can I pick against Vanessa Demopoulos when she loses and wins? So it's kind of tough. Like, it seems like a lot of robberies go her way, and I could fully see that happening again. I've actually put money on her just because the judges like her for some reason. I put her money on her last two fights. Actually, last three fights I lost with Carolina Kovacevic, but one with Kanako Murata and Emily Ducote. Those were definitely robberies. It was a unanimous decision. She did definitely, she was more active against Kanako Murata, but I thought she was losing the striking exchanges against Emily Ducote. I think this fight could look similar to the Kanako Murata fight. It could be more Jacqueline Amorim trying to take down Vanessa Demopoulos, and just Vanessa Demopoulos kind of putting a little bit more output, even though she doesn't have the best striking. I'm going to be taking Vanessa Demopoulos by robbery. Okay, next fight is Andre Lima versus Felipe dos Santos. I did not like Andre Lima's last fight. I thought he was very low output against Mitch Raposo, leg kicks and punches. It's pretty much it, and Mitch Raposo should have wrestled a bit more. He did start to, and then just abandoned that in their fight. Split decision is a bit surprising. I thought it was definitely unanimous, even though, like I said, not much output. Felipe dos Santos has a lot of output. I thought he kind of lost against Victor Altamirano, and he definitely lost against Matt Cape, but that was a close fight and very impressive on the short notice. This one's a bit of a tough one to call, to be honest. I think the speed is on Dos Santos' side, and I'm going to take him to win by decision. Not super confident, though. Okay, next up is Kyle Nelson versus Steve Garcia. I was surprised Steve Garcia being a minus 140 favorite against Sungwoo Choi. I jumped on that money line, and Kyle Nelson has been underdog his last few fights, and he keeps on cashing. So if you want to put a bet on Kyle Nelson again, yeah, you never know. Could cash. But I'm going to be going with Steve Garcia. I just think he's going to find Kyle Nelson's chin and put him away. And that's it. Kyle Nelson has definitely gotten more confidence lately with his nice little win streak going on. We'll see how this goes, but this is a very interesting fight that I'm curious to see how it plays out. But I'm still going to be taking Steve Garcia to win by knockout. Next up is Trevor Peek versus Yanel Ashmouz. I like both these guys, to be honest. I think Yanel Ashmouz, his last fight, he broke his hand, so he couldn't really do what he wanted to do. But his win over Sam Patterson, knocking him the fuck out in the first round, was very impressive. A big wow moment during that card. Trevor Peek, though, is my boy, man. This guy fights. I love his fighting style. Like, it's not very good, but it's always entertaining to watch. He just goes in there and swangs and bangs, redneck style. Very cool to see. I'm going to be taking Yanel Ashmouz to win. Low confidence again, but I will definitely be rooting for Trevor Peek. Okay, Matchell versus Alessandro Costa. I'll just say right off the bat, I'm taking Alessandro Costa to win. I think Matchell's chin is pretty bad for a flyweight. There's plenty of highlight reels of him just getting knocked the fuck out. Costa is not too good either, but we'll have to see how it goes. He has wins over Jimmy Flick and Kevin Borjas in the UFC, and they're both by ground and pound finish. I think he does something like that again. I don't have a big opinion on this fight. Okay, next up is Jessica Andrade versus Natalia Silva. Sort of passing of the torch a little bit fight here, I think. Jessica Andrade has had a lot of wars and a lot of fights in the UFC. Something's tempting me to take the Jessica Andrade pick, but I'm going to be going Natalia Silva. She has looked great in her last few fights, beating Vivian Aroha and Andrea Lee. Yeah. This is a women's fight, and well, anything could happen in any fight, but we do tend to see that a lot in women's fights. She's very fast, Natalia Silva. She's going to match the speed with Jessica Andrade. And I just think Jessica Andrade is a bit less durable at this point. So I'm going to be taking Natalia Silva to win about round 3 KO. Okay, this fight I'm very excited to see. It's Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady. I like Gilbert Burns. I like Sean Brady. Sean Brady has only lost to Bilal Muhammad in his last few fights, which is not that bad of a loss to have, because Bilal Muhammad has been winning against everybody. He has the belt now, is the welterweight champion. Sean Brady looked really good his last fight against Kelvin Gastelum. I picked Kelvin Gastelum to win, but I saw like he just manhandled Kelvin Gastelum throughout the whole fight, and eventually caught him in a Kimura. So I think, Gilbert Burns, he lost last time to Jack Della Maddalena, which he was winning most of the fight from what I remember until he got finished. And Bilal Muhammad, he broke his arm in that fight, so durability is in question again. He is 38 years old, and Sean Brady is the younger fighter by 7 years, 31 years old. Um, I'm going to be taking Sean Brady to win this. I want to say submission, but I could also see decision. I could see even a 48-47. Gilbert Burns taking 2 rounds, just with the much better boxing than Sean Brady. Sean Brady doesn't have that good of box, but very good takedowns and jujitsu. So yeah, I'm going to be taking Sean Brady to win this one. Medium level confidence. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown video. I try to do it short and sweet. Maybe I'll go deeper into some of these fights for another video, but for now, I'm just trying this out, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Good luck.